my name's Carlotta. If you don't know me, I don't know where you've been. I've been around since the pyramids.
Hi, I'm Hollie Hughes, former Senator for New South Wales, and very much enjoying post-political life where I can tell people how stupid they really are.
Hi, I'm Amanda Rose. I'm a founder, advocate, media commentator and a straight shooter.
My name is Tim Blair. I'm a columnist at the Daily Telegraph, and I don't even know what the phrase political correctness even means. And that's also true of many other words and phrases.
Hello, I'm Jo Casamento. I'm a mum of four, film fanatic, journalist for many years, jack of all, master of none, and basically all-round oversharer.
And Jo, you're an original booty just like Carlotta, and you're here to share your wisdom. Hello, I'm television and radio presenter Rob McKnight. Welcome to Booty and the Beast. Well, you never know what you're going to find when you turn on this little show, and especially you don't know what's going to happen when Carlotta has the first letter. Over to you, Carlotta.
Well, I've got a lovely letter from Audrey Lights Out. You're going to love this one. Booties, I have discovered something which has turned my sex life around. I'm dating a blind man. He's so good in the dark. I guess he's more sensory than other blokes. More in touch with his feelings, he says he turns on my lights, would be an understatement. My God. As a community service, I felt compelled to write in and give you beasties my tip. I suggest you turn the lights off and practice plenty of stroking and touching in crevices you've never discovered before. He's got to be joking, this one. But not just on yourself.
Well, that's
it
me,
would be illuminating and made up your sex life as it sure works for me. What do you think? Oh, well, I know what I think. This woman's a sicko. Sorry.
Carlotta, I've got to say that when you said she was dating a blind man, it reminded me of that old story I once heard that there was a nun having a bath and there was a knock at the door. And she said, "Who is it?" And he said, this man from behind the door said, "It's the blind man." And she thought about it and went, "Okay, come in." And he walks in and he says, "Nice tits, where do you want the blinds?"
Oh, God.
No laugh from Amanda there. I think that might be the generational divide right there. Hollie, what do you think? Lights on or lights off?
Look, good on you, Audrey. I just think opening up your mind and your body clearly to someone who's probably presenting some other challenges in the dating world, but the fact that it's working in the bedroom, good on you, love. Have a crack. And I can tell you after a certain age, everyone wants the lights kept off. So clearly that's probably already working for them.
Jo, do you think there needs to be, more practice with the touching and not just with yourself, with the lights off? What do you think?
Well, I do. Look, I love this for you, Audrey. I think you're discovering a whole other part to your sexuality with this new relationship. And I actually think that's really gorgeous. There's nothing better than finding yourself, going down a rabbit hole and just discovering new things at a later age. And I think you should keep exploring. Obviously, sensuality and all of those things, if you turn the lights off, tickling, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go into it because it's kind of grossing me out that we're discussing a bit too much info. But I think that you should just go with it, and I love it for you. So well done. How exciting. You've tapped into an untapped market.
Yeah, Amanda, there might be a whole rush on blind people right now.
All I can think about is how did he get there? And then if they've got a relationship that, I keep thinking the serious side to it. Yes, she's having fun, but you're someone with a disability, you need to make sure you're looking after them for a very long time. And I'm just thinking, don't take advantage of this person. Make sure that you're not just thinking this is a fling. Maybe they're actually taking this seriously. So be very careful about how you approach it to make sure that you're not like, thank you, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, see you later, I don't want you now, because it could end up hurting them a lot more than you think.
Oh, Tim, I don't think Audrey's in this for the wham bam. It sounds like she's having a lot more than an afternoon delight.
Yeah, I don't know. This all confuses me a little bit, Rob and panel. I don't know which of you pervs is ever doing it with the lights off. I mean, seriously, like, light off is the go. It's
No, I never do it with the lights out. I like to see what I'm getting.
Hang on, are you all saying that you never have the lights on?
I have the lights off when I'm by myself, Rob.
Probably more about me, I guess.
I like to see what's going on. I like to.
But with the particular case in front of us, though, I think it's great that that nature balances itself. You know, he's got this particular disability, makes him great in the sack. On the downside, not so good at parking. So it'll.
For more Booty and the Beasts content, join us on social media. We're on Instagram and TikTok at Booty and the Beasts AU. Well, if you think our country is in a bad state, you are not alone. Amanda Michael has some things he wants to say about our leaders.
Absolutely. This is a very good letter. Is it any wonder that our country is stuffed? The calibre of politicians we have is pathetic. Anyone good like Hollie, and that's Hollie Hughes, the ex-senator for those who don't know, is considered a threat by the backroom boys and edged out. Others see the light and leave. Where are the visionaries, the brave thinkers, people who have real life experience? I guess they just wouldn't bother because the numbers are stacked against them. All we get are the tryhards who group think, cover for each other, ain't that the truth, and deliver mediocrity while enjoying their perks and big fat paychecks. Do any of you have a solution for this? Michael from Moorebank. And Michael, there are plenty of solutions for this, and not everyone's probably going to agree with me. I will say this, there are a couple of good people in politics. I can count them on one hand. They do usually get kicked out or leave. But I say go for the independents or the smaller parties to rattle the two major parties, because until we do that, I think they're going to keep with their factions and their numbers, and you don't agree with them and they're going to kick you out. So I think we need to get them a little bit scared, and maybe then they'll listen to people like you.
Hollie, I have to come to you. This question did mention you by name.
No, I'm kind of having a bit of a blush here.
Did you think there's truth in here? Because it says anyone good like Hollie is considered a threat by the backroom boys and edged out. Do you think that's a true statement?
Mate, that's what happened to me. Absolutely, that's what happened to me. And it wasn't just backroom boys. It was some very, very stupid women who didn't understand how the system worked. And I don't know whether they did it deliberately because they feel more comfortable with someone who doesn't speak out, who's mediocre, who's never going to challenge them or actually push anything forward. But there does seem to be a bit of a move that they don't, the political parties, they don't want the people who are prepared to stand up and fight. They don't want people with convictions. They want people who are moldable and do what they're told when they're told to do it.
Look, I'm a single mum. I'm a struggling single mum. I live week to week. And all I want from my politicians, I don't really care that much about big ideas. I care about honesty, making false promises. When you tell me my electricity bill is going to be cut and it triples within that year, it's hard to have faith. And we are lost. And I think voters are confused. The other thing I have noticed with young adults around me a lot is the polarising of viewpoints. I feel like you're getting more people totally going this way to the left, and, with everything that's going on in America and Charlie Kirk, and I see it amongst the young men I see with my son, a lot going down that very far right path, and I just feel like it's an explosion waiting to happen. But for me personally, just being honest and saying we promised this and we haven't delivered and we stuffed up, that would mean a lot to me.
It's the hardest thing to find on any side of politics. I do believe there's a lot of politicians who get into it for the right reasons. Whether they get engulfed by the system, I don't know. But Hollie, we need you back in there fighting the good fight. Hopefully you can do that sign up.
No, there's lots of blue sky out there outside of it. I'm having much more fun now.
Well, of course you are. You're on Beauty and the Beasts. I reckon it's fair to say our panel are not the shy and retiring types, so maybe they can help our next letter writer in the bedroom. Good girl Joe Casamento, famously a virgin on the original Beauty and the Beasts. Try not to blush over this one, Joe.
You have absolutely stitched me up at
You better believe it.
I tried to read this out loud to my daughters just a few minutes ago, and they all looked at me like I was talking a foreign language. And I said, this is what I feel like when you start talking about Riz and all these sorts of things. Anyway, please forgive what you're about to hear. Dear Beauties and Beasts, don't get me wrong. I'm sure I'm like the beasts on the show. I love a bit of cringe. Playing, you've stitched me up here.
I love a bit of jig-a-jig.
Bumping uglies. Call it what you like. I don't call it any of those things. But lately, I've been so bored in bed, I need to inject some excitement in my boudoir. What do you recommend I do? Horny Harold Purse. Okay.
Leave Perth.
Problem sorted.
Well, Harold, you haven't said if you're single or not. I don't know. I could think of one very easy thing you could do to stitch it up, but you definitely need to update your lingo. It is 2025. I'm not sure any of these terms would work, and I don't think they're going to turn any potential partners on just quietly. What was this? The sausage up the... I mean, I just had these horrible thoughts. But seriously, if you are looking to spice things up, you should maybe speak from Audrey from Canania. She says turning the lights off and you think with a blind man. I don't know. So, look, here I think. Camera, tripod, sexy red lingerie, easy fix, boom.
Does he wear the sexy red lingerie?
Well, if that's what takes his fancy, that's what takes his fancy.
Well, there.
I reckon there's my tips for you.
All right, Amanda, what do you think on this one?
Look, I reckon Harold's alone here in his bedroom, and that's what his problem is. I think he actually can't get a woman. And maybe he needs to be, a little bit smoother. I agree with Joe with your language. Maybe take a lady out, have dinner, have a conversation. And then the more you enjoy the person that you're building a relationship with or you got a connection with, then you might actually enjoy the after dark activities with that particular person. But I'm convinced that Harold hasn't brought anyone home ever, and that he genuinely is just trying to get attention so he can get his first date at probably 50.
Well, maybe that's why he's a bit bored, because it's just his hand. Carlotta, do you have any ideas for Harold? Maybe he does have a woman, who knows? But do you have any ideas for him?
I think he aimed this letter at Prue. She would have answered this brilliantly. This is right up Prue's alley. Mate, I don't even think you've had your first fan yet. By the sound of the letter, I just think, I think you should go back to the old-fashioned ways. Go to a brothel first, and then you get trained. Just for you.
That's an interesting idea.
Don't play open your mouth like that. It's true. That's
She's talking to you, Amanda.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm not sure that's where you're going to be trained in anything. I mean, I just think that's where you can catch something, maybe.
They'd know the trick, presumably.
Well, I'm 82, and I remember when they were younger, that they'd send the young boys to brothels to be trained.
Geez, no one ever did that with me.
Oh?
That's why I'm done dating. That's
Have you got any advice for Harold? I mean, I'm assuming his idea of foreplay is probably how about it, love? Maybe he needs a little bit something more than that.
I think Joe's observation is very acute. The language isn't going to work if you're repeating these sort of phrases. You're you're not going to be attracting the sort of people who are normal for a start. And if you are going to be attracting anyone, it reminds me, I can't remember the comedian's name, but it's a great line about how he said that Jennifer didn't like it when I used the word puke, but to me that's what her dinner tasted like. You've got to be a little bit delicate. Just a tiny bit more delicate in using the terminology.
You say that he's not got the right language, but Hollie, he's inspired by the Spice Girls. He likes a bit of jigga jig jig jigga jigga.
Okay, so I don't want to seem ageist here, but I'm just guessing with a name like Harold, because I hear Harold and I go to that old Neighbours character that... Give me a sense this guy's, young and out there. So it's first thing I suggest, Harold, is maybe shortening your name to Harry and trying to seem a little bit more like you were born in this century or two. But, mate, everyone's hit the nail on the head. I'm guessing when you're not excited in the boudoir, it's because it's the click made on the baby oil bottle as you're undoing it is about as spicy as it gets for you. But maybe try some lube that warms up. I don't know. I just don't think you're really putting it out there in a way that is appealing to anyone, starting with your name. And I'm really sorry to all the Harolds out there.
Well, he did sign it horny, Harold, so,
I reckon Harold's got very soft hands.
I feel like I want to move on from this.
Being a mother is a thankless task, and these days women are expected to do it all, work a day and run the household at night. But is there anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mum? Hollie, this is something Susie is grappling with.
Look, and I've got a letter here, Rob. I'm copping flack from my friends because I want to be a stay-at-home mum. They think I'm old-fashioned, reckless and selfish by putting so much pressure on my partner for not contributing to our finances. All I know is that if we can make it work financially, I want to be the one raising my kids, not some stranger. I think the first 7 years of a child's life are the most important in shaping their character and future. Do you think I'm being selfish? Susie from Latrobe. Well, Susie, no, I don't. I don't at all. I was a stay-at-home mum for a bit. I had 3 kids under 3.5, and to be fair, there's actually years of my life missing. I don't remember it because I have one with special needs as well. But, no sleep, 3 kids. It was pandemonium at any given moment. And it is, to be honest, I've been a federal senator. I do all sorts of other things in the media. And being a stay-at-home mum was one of the toughest jobs you will ever do, and it can be completely thankless, but it is also some of the happiest times you will ever have, and your kids will always remember that you were there and around for really important things. Don't turn into the crazy woman I was, who became obsessed with the point that I was making tomato sauce. My kids' birthday parties, I made not only the sausage rolls, but the party pies. Everything was, homemade. I am the Thermomix queen. Everything that I did for my kids when I was at home with them. But, we were just talking a little about politics. I think if the Liberal Party and the Coalition's serious, one of the policies they need to talk about, childcare centres are not the answer to raise children. We should be looking at how we pay childcare subsidies. I think they should be paid direct to the parents. I think if you want to stay home, that you can stay home rather than some childcare provider getting that money.
What a great idea.
Well, it also allows you to pay maybe grandparents, or if you've got a couple of girlfriends that want to do the same thing, you pool your resources and get a bit of help with a nanny or an au pair or whatever it is at home. I think there's low-hanging fruit here that a lot of families would be interested in hearing about. But, darling, I am all with you for the stay-at-home mum if you can afford to do it, because it'll be the best time of you and your kids' life.
Amanda.
And then they become teenagers.
Yeah.
And go back to work when they're teenagers, because that's the only
Good call.
smart.
Amanda, I never understand this concept of who cares if someone chooses to stay at home? What business is it of yours if, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, why people they can come in and judge it?
People are obsessed, right? So the thing is, I'll say this, being a mum is the most important role on this planet, and it's one of the most demonized and disrespected roles as well. So if you work, you know, if you're a working mum, why are you working? If you're a stay-at-home mum, why are you staying at home and not contributing? And it's this battle that women shouldn't be having. They should be able to choose what they want to do. And in this particular case, you know, there are ways to assist to be able to do that. For example, when you said, I can't contribute financially, actually you can by meal prepping and budgeting and doing things that, you know, free trips for the children. There are ways to budget to be able to contribute financially without actually contributing cash. And I do like the idea when it comes to childcare. So my mum actually had looked after 2 other children while she looked after my brother and I. And so that was her way of being able to spend time with us and make some money.
Yeah, my mum did the same thing.
Yeah, they got rid of that scheme, right? We need to bring that back instead of being commercialised and having childcare centres having a stranglehold on the policy and legislation of our governments. We actually need to give women the choice of what they want to do, right? And say, what would you like to happen? What what formula or structure would you like? And work around what they need.
I think we've just solved a major issue thanks to Hollie here. Carlotta, back in your day, and I hate using that term, but mums traditionally stayed at home. I think we were better off for it.
Darling, you know what? I take my hat off to women who really want to raise their own children. I think it's fantastic because I was brought up by 2 mothers, right? One was a party girl. The other one was a strict mother. And I am so thrilled, well, I hope, I'm pleased how I turned out as far as my principles are concerned, because she was tough. And I just love the fact that, you know, she was always at home with us. If we had a problem, you know, we could go to her. And this is, look, if what annoys me today is kids aren't toys. You know, they've got to be nurtured. And a lot of women, I don't think, should be mothers. But I admire the women that want to stay home, raise their kids, and you've got to give tough love. Sometimes you've got to give tough love, and it always works. And look, that's the way I was raised, and I just wish we could go back to that.
Yeah, Joe, do you think we're doing enough to support mums?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I have so many thoughts around this. Susie, you're not being selfish, and I did the same. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. Unfortunately, a few years into that experience, my husband left. And this is my warning for you, is that getting back into the workforce when you need to and it's necessary, it's all lovely and pie in the sky when you think you have that support base, but it's not necessarily going to be. Things happen, life changes, stuff happens, and we can't bank on that. So I would urge you not to remove your finger entirely from the pie. Like Hollie said, you can return to work. But the hard part with that is that my career truly never recovered. My finances never recovered because I did dip out for even those small few years. I mean, I used to work with you, Tim. I can't get a job back there at the Telegraph. Do you know what I mean? Like those few years you spend raising your children, and I would never take back those years. I have amazing kids, and I struggled returning to work and juggling everything, and it was just chaos for a long time. But I just urge you not to completely remove yourself from the working world, because you will want to re-enter the workforce if for your own satisfaction, if for financial needs, if for being rewarding, if for being a wonderful role model. I'm glad my kids see me working and hustling now. And I wouldn't have it any other way now. But I just urge you to be a little bit cautious in just saying, no more work for me.
How often have you wished your partner would get motivated and start exercising? But as you're about to find out, it's not always a good thing when it starts happening. Oh, Tim, I'm very interested in this letter.
Yes, let's see what Carol from Collingwood has to say. I'm interested as well, and I was selected to read this letter.
I'm hoping the letters aren't personal.
Yes, my husband, writes Carol, has always been a norm, a couch potato. His idea of exercise was walking to the bar fridge. Suddenly, this has all changed. He has discovered fitness, even resorting to wearing lycra.
Oh,
He gets up early, takes himself to the gym, and insists on eating clean, whatever that is. Should I be worried he has a girlfriend? Look, he's wearing lycra, maybe it's a bloke. When I ask him why he's had this health epiphany, he gets angry and suggests I start focusing on myself. I've taken to the fridge as I am worried sick. Please help, writes Carol. Well, I'm going to give Carol's husband a way out here, or at least look on a perhaps more positive side, that he's not cheating or something. It could well be. Well, we'll get to that in a second, but it could well be that he's had a health scare and simply is too reluctant to discuss it. He might have had the big talk from the doctor, and he's now trying to get the blood pressure down, get his blood sugars down, do those sort of things. Men are, believe me, men are reluctant to reveal vulnerabilities. I mean, I'm not exactly, there's no great breaking news in that. And it could be he's been given this advice, he's trying to get the health right. Either that or he's banging the pickleball coach down at the fitness centre. I don't know.
Carlotta,
No.
women say they want men to get fit, get healthy, eat right, and as soon as they do, he must be having an affair.
Well, I've always said, women who think like that haven't really got a good marriage, because a marriage is a partnership. A marriage to me is, you should be good mates. My sister and her husband have been married for something like 40 years. And, they don't even sleep in the same bed. She's going to kill me for this. Not even because she snores. They have separate bedrooms, but they have a fabulous life because, they're great mates. And I just find that this guy, I would say you're probably right that he has got a medical problem, because a lot of men do not like talking about their medical problems, and he's too scared to discuss it with his wife. That's what the letter comes across to me. But the wife says,
Amanda's rolling her eyes.
Sorry.
the man says, what are you rolling your eyes for? Go on,
Look,
say it, love. I love a debate. I love a debate,
look.
say it.
You know what? If it was a health scare, then he would actually be encouraging his partner in a very gentle way to join him for health, because he'd be worried about her health and a health scare. But he's not. He's a bit snippy. He's either having an affair or he's trying. Oh, yeah. Well, thank God not too many now. But
Funny, all the women who've been divorced think he's cheating for sure.
Listen,
We know.
wait, yeah, but he might not be cheating yet, but he's definitely trying to land someone by, getting fit, exercise. And my response to this is, whether he is or not, forget about him, as you should anyway. If you're in a relationship, you've got to focus on yourself. Go get a PT, work out, cut your hair, lose weight, get a stylist, get a new wardrobe, and let me tell you, he'll start freaking out that you're starting to look good and getting on with it and forgetting about him, because that's usually what happens when you treat him mean, keep him keen, right?
My marriage, after, it was almost 20 years, came to an end. I've never had so much fun. And then I happened to meet the most amazing, amazing man. And I've never been happier in my entire life.
And just asking for a friend, Hollie, where'd you meet your next bloke?
We'll get to that off air, because we have reached the end. Ladies, we can tell those secrets off air. We've reached the end of this episode of Beauty and the Beast. Hollie, Amanda, Joe, Tim and Carlotta, thank you for joining us. We will be back again very soon. Don't forget to look for Beauty and the Beast AU online on the socials, and go to beautyandthebeasts.au for the website, and then you can find us everywhere. I'm Rob McKnight. Thanks for your company. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.